Everybody, I'm back again with another Hot Toys figure video. This is General Zod from the Man of Steel. Absolutely awesome figure. I was looking for that wow factor from a Hot Toys figure. I haven't had it for a while, but this one's pretty damn close. It's a hell of a lot better than I expected it to be, and it's already becoming one of my favourites in my collection. So as usual, I'll give you a head to toe look, go over the accessories, and then do a few poses for you. I've got him on a Hot Toys Roy stand at the moment, just so I can show you the other stand. So this is the stand that he comes with. It's exactly the same as the Man of Steel and the Jarrell figure stand, the only difference being obviously the colour and the emblem on the top. It still comes with the aluminium nameplate and the bendable metal rod, which is ideal for flight poses but not very good for just normal static poses like this. He comes with 6 hands. You've got the fisted hands that I'm showing you with here. This is straight out the box. Apart from the cape, you have to put that on, but I'll come to that later. He's got 2 of these aggressive open palmed hands. As with all Hot Toys figures, superb quality for the hands, great sculpting, really nice paint apps. As you can see, you've got the highlights and the lowlights all painted on. Does look like metal. Fantastic. And he has one for the other side as well. And he also comes with 2 of the more relaxed gesturing hands. But you'll see these better when I pose him up later on. He also comes with spare pegs and a separate head sculpt. It's not a head sculpt as such, it's a mask. I'm not going to show him with this, I'll tell you why in a minute. Really nice detailing on it though. Again, paint apps spot on. Does look good on the figure, but you're restricted to movement with it. Mainly because this part here pushes down underneath there, so you're restricted with left and right movement and up and down obviously as well. So it's not really ideal for posing, it's just more for static sort of poses. But I'm not going to show him with that. I will show him with his head sculpt that he has at the moment. He also comes with this cape. It's got no metal wires down the side, so you can't pose it. It would have been nice if Hot Toys gave you a separate cape where you could do that and have this one just for static poses. It's got different type of material inside the cape to the outside. This is sort of like a sticky sort of feel to it. It sticks to your skin, as the outside is nice and smooth. To put it on, we try and turn him without him falling over. Just under here you've got 2 bits of his armour on either side, and you have to push the cape down inside and then clip it. The way that I did it was I pushed it into the top, got a toothpick, pushed it through with a toothpick, didn't have any problem at all getting that on. But hopefully when I pose him up you'll be able to see the cape a little bit better. Moving on to the figure itself, we'll start with the suit first. Underneath his armour, which is all plastic, you've got the same sort of suit that the Man of Steel had and Jarrell. It's a rubberized suit over which you have all the plastic armour. Would have been nice if they'd done it sort of die cast, but then that would have pushed the price way up through the roof. Probably talking about another $75 or more on top. But at first glance the suit looks the same, but it's not. As you can see, shoulder pads completely different. The gauntlets are also different. He's got, I believe it's a type of bombs or some sort of weaponry or something on the side here. Someone will be able to tell me what it is, but not on the other side. Other than that, the rest of the suit is the same. Paint apps are superb. Really nice colour scheme as well. You've got the silvery grey sort of look to it. You've got all the highlights coming out and the low lights where it should be. So it does look absolutely awesome. Got a bare neck. Check out Clipper King's video, because what he did was, when he changed this head for this one, he put some material down inside the neck there to cover it up, which is a good idea. So check out his video for that. Articulation wise, pretty good. I haven't actually tried to pull him around yet. I'll do that when I come to pose him up. But I should think you might have a little bit of restriction, especially in for opening the legs up, because it is quite tight there. He does have foot articulation, but I'll show you that when I've got him posed. Move him round, have a look at the back. Again, great detailing. He does have ab articulation as well, but you are very restricted with that. There you can see the undersuit a lot better. And the cape is long. It does go right down to the floor, so you can actually spray it out a bit if you wish. I'm assuming a lot of people who buy this figure will get a modded cape of someone. I'm sure someone out there will do one. I don't have any issues really with Hot Toys capes, like the Batman cape and that. They were okay for me. Just would have been nice if you could pose them. Right, on to the head sculpt. Not 100% sure what the actor's name is. I've forgotten it offhand, but it does look like him. You only get this one head sculpt with the sort of aggressive sort of grimace that he's got, which doesn't look that good when he's in static pose, but when you pose him up it does look a lot better. So it might have been a good idea if Hot Toys maybe added another head sculpt without the grimacing face. But the eyes just about right. A lot of the older figures that Hot Toys used to do used to get the Google eye effect, where one of the eyes used to look up more and the other one used to look straight ahead, but they seem to have sort of rectified that. There is a little hint there of it, but you can't really notice it. So paint apps are superb. You can see all the veins and that under the skin. The little skin blemishes, it's a bit difficult to see on this camera. But as I say in virtually all my videos, these figures look much better in hand than they do on screen. Sculpted hair, nicely painted, slight different shades of colour in it. All in all, a top-notch figure. Sorry that's a bit brief on the clothing and that, but there are other people out there who do better videos than me, so if you want to get a real in-depth sort of description of the clothing, just check out some other people's videos. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause it and have him in a pose. Okay, for the purpose of these poses, or a lot of them, I'll have him on the normal Hot Toys stand. Not going to describe the pose, you can see what's going on. A lot of people go into in depth on what the pose is, but I'm not going to do that. Slightly open the legs up a little bit. As I said, it is quite tight here, so you might be really restricted to how you open the legs up. But you can bend the arms quite nicely. Move the head round. move the cape around a little bit. With the feet, hope you can see this, but try and do it with this toe. There you go, you can just about see. You do get some toe articulation, obviously ankle articulation as well. Very simple pose, but quite effective. This figure looks really good in any sort of pose you put him in. It's no Clipper King style pose. He's really good at doing these. He must spend hours sort of tweaking his figures to make them look good. So when we come back, I'll put him in a slightly more dynamic sort of pose. Here I've got him on the dynamic stand. It's actually in the air. You can see I've bent the stand round and hidden it with his cape. Again, the arms do move up. Not too bad, they won't go much higher than that. The leg won't really go much higher either because of these parts, a bit restrictive. But you can just see how well these stands do work for flight poses. Really are great. You have to be a little bit careful. You're going to pull him out to the side like this. It does get a little bit top heavy, so you might want to put something on that side just to hold it down a bit. I suppose you could hold the cape out with something to make it look like he's flying. But that's where the wide framed cape would come in handy. So I'll pause it here, and when we come back I'll put him in another stance. Okay, I just wanted to show you him with his helmet on, so you can see the errors that Hot Toys have made. There's typical normal sort of stance, but with the head, that doesn't actually clip into the top, it just really sits on there. So it doesn't really go down much further than that, and as you can see all the neck inside. So as I mentioned earlier, Clipper King uses a bit of material similar colour to this and just pushes it down round there so you can hide that, which would be superb if you want to show him with his mask on. But he does look good with it on. It's not the sort of desired look that I want. But everybody has their own sort of individual preferences. But as you can see, the chin bit does go underneath, so you can't move the head, you can't lift it up or anything, it just really has to stay in one position. So when we come back, I'll pose him up with these different hands on. Okay, here I've got him with two different hands. I've used a slightly more relaxed hand just to sort of hold his cape out a little bit. So that is an option if you wish to sort of show the cape sticking out. You can use the hands to do that. And here's his more openly aggressive palmed hand, which is probably the hands that I will use to show him. Don't really like these hands too much. There's not a lot you can do with those, but these hands really are nice. I will do some more extreme poses a bit later, just really basic ones at the moment, but he does look good no matter how basic you put him. That's what I wanted to show. Obviously some people will disagree, but it's just the way I see it. I will do a size comparison as well with this figure with other Hot Toys figures, because he is taller. Basically I think he's the same size as the Man of Steel, but you'll see that later. So on to the next. Here we have him saying to Superman, "Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough." A couple of things I've noticed. These leg guards do move up and down. They're not actually attached. Oh, I knew that would happen. I'll leave them off. They say they do move up and down. You can't really pull his arms up too high, again because of this and the restrictions on the suit underneath. He could rip, so I wouldn't advise sort of doing that. These parts here could be quite delicate, so be careful when moving the legs about, as there's a possibility that it could maybe snap up the top here or get a little tear. It is fairly thick, but I wouldn't trust it, as all us Hot Toys collectors know there are some really delicate parts on Hot Toys figures. Same with the bits around the arms here, do be careful. If you're going to try and do an extreme pose, just move it a little bit at a time till you get it just about right. Don't sort of move it in one motion, otherwise it could snap. But anyway, on to the next. Here I have him in another flight mode. Just launched himself up. Again using the dynamic stand. Pulled the arms slightly back. These gauntlets also do come off. You can pull them off, they're not attached. It says in the instructions that you can't take all the armour off, but if you check out Hot Chicks Couture reviews or The Bomb Show, which is the same people, they show you the figure from nude all the way up, so you can take them off, but I wouldn't advise it. So just maybe one or two more poses and we'll finish the video off. Just another very simple pose. The more I move this figure about, the more I realise it is quite difficult to pose him up in very extreme poses because of the really tight plastic. Maybe one more pose after this, and then I'll show you a height comparison. Another very simple pose. Sort of running out of ideas now. I might do another flight pose, and I'll leave it at that. Might do a video later on of him up against, and there we go, he's fallen over, of him up against the Man of Steel figure. That'll be a later stage. So just one more pose and then I'll do a height comparison. And just another very simple flight pose. A little tip: when bending the legs down, you can actually see the peg, so all you do is just push the guard up and it covers it up nicely. Again using the dynamic stand. So I'll pause it now, we come back, I'll have him in his normal stance, standing up against a couple of other Hot Toys figures so you can see the height difference. Okay, now you can see the actual height of the guy. I've got them all standing on just normal Hot Toys stands. You see the Man of Steel, same height, and Lieutenant Jim Gordon, a hell of a lot smaller. It really is a superb looking figure. If you're thinking about getting it, you're umming and ahhing, definitely get it. The more and more I look at it, the more and more I like it. The next video will possibly be my Chitauri, Foot Soldier and Commander. I've got the twin box set coming from Sideshow within the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's possible I might do another video between then. I've got a couple of more Zombicide figures being painted up, and I might do a quick video on that. But I'm going to move over to my other channel and do a playthrough of Zombicide. So if you want to see that, I will leave a link below to that channel, and hopefully I will put those videos up within the next couple of days. So as always, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.